Wait, this new lighting is better.
It do.
You can actually see it.
Right. Also, 1 Kings 19 and 18. My bad. 1 Kings 19 and 18.
So 8 what?
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. All right, we just out here doing another lesson, man. Okay, through the Spirit, this lesson is going to be called "We're Still Here for a Reason." Okay, we've been put on this earth. Ultimately, okay, we got to get Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. You know what I mean? We got to get Ecclesiastes 12. You know, where it talks about this is the duty of man, or is it 12 and 12 or something? Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
God, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. It says, "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Shah and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man."
Yeah, you see, so that's our job. Our job on this earth is to fear the Lord. Okay, and to fear the Lord, Sirach 19 and 19 real quick. Okay, this is the whole duty of man, is to fear the Lord. Okay, and what is going to come from that is ultimately going to be life everlasting. Go ahead.
God, this is Sirach chapter 19 and verse 19. It says, "The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality." All right, so the knowledge of the commandments is the doctrine of life, and the word doctrine goes into sayings or teaching. All right, so the knowledge of the commandments is the sayings and teachings of life. All right, and I'm gonna read it in the middle of it. It says, "And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality." All right, in other words, everlasting life. All right, because one thing that the elect is going to be doing down here, they're going to be keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of their ability. All right, according to what? Judges 5 and 11. All right, rehearsing the righteous act. All right, in the place of drawing waters, aka in our captivity. All right, so the elect, they're going to be keeping the laws, statutes, commandments to the best of their life. To the best of their ability. All right, pushing forth more and more life.
Right. And that's the thing, man, that Jake don't understand. Okay, or it might be John 7. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing that Jake needs to understand, man. Is without this truth, basically you don't have nothing.
Yep.
Okay, you're just wandering, wiggling around in the world, being a wicked demon, not being fruitful at all. Okay, so the reason why the prophets of the Lord are still here is to turn Israel back unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
That's
Right? You see, and I believe if you go to what is that? Zephaniah, the 1st chapter, it says turn. Hold on, let me see. Turn unto me. Let me see. I'll find it, but I want to get that scripture that I asked for.
Philippians? Or the Philippians, right?
No, you already got Ecclesiastes, right? Yeah, you already got Ecclesiastes 12. So let's get Philippians.
Matter of fact, I don't even think I read Ecclesiastes 12. It's like 12. Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm tripping. It's
Yeah,
like
right.
Zechariah
Looking
1
for
and
the
3, 12 on turn on the week.
Yeah, that's it. Zechariah, yeah. I thought it was Zephaniah. Zechariah 1. Let's get that real quick.
All right, this is Zechariah 1 and 3. "Therefore saith unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, Turn ye unto me, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will turn unto you, saith the Lord of hosts."
See that? That's the point. We're supposed to be turning unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Okay? And that's a commandment. I mean, that's not in what you would call the law.
Right.
You know, but that's a commandment. This is in one of what's known as the prophetic books. That's an admonishment, okay? Because ultimately we turn our back on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right. And Zechariah and Haggai, they were contemporary prophets, right? When you read what was going on during that time, you had the Israelites that were returning back into the land that were they were commissioned to rebuild the temple that had been torn down by Nebuchadnezzar. So they were building up that second temple, and it was a lot of, they had not only, it wasn't just building up the temple, they had to establish the city. Like the city was completely destitute. No problem. It was completely destitute. So basically what ended up happening was they had to rebuild the walls.
Yep.
Almost really had to do that first, really, so that they could even begin construction.
Foundation and all
You know what I mean? Before they could even begin the foundation, because they had to protect, protect the resources and everything, right? So that they did that. Then they started on the foundation, and there was a decree that went out for them to halt the building of the temple, and during that time period, you had a level of complacency that went out. You know what I mean? The spirit was of complacent went out, and basically, that's when Haggai and Zechariah popped up. You know what I'm saying? They was around, but this is when their preachings were recorded, right? So, was there more on that, or not? We can get that.
I think. I was just going to kind of what you were saying here.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
We're just kind of going. You pretty much self-speak. That's the meat of it.
Yeah. That's it. Okay, let's get that real quick. Unless you had a precept. Because again, man, the point is that we're here for a reason, man. Okay, like let's say for example, go to Ezekiel 16.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Ezekiel 16 and what?
Well, when you read the chapter, I want you to look for a good spot because basically this whole chapter talks about how Israel, the Lord would raise Israel up, right? As a nation, protected Israel, and then basically they waxed fat and kicked. They took advantage of what the Lord had blessed them with. Talking about us, really, as a nation, we took advantage, right? But why are we still here, right? The reason why we're still here ultimately is because the Lord's going to have mercy on us, right? So I think that sentiment is conveyed when you scroll down. Okay, it's a longer chapter, but so keep going. And there's a shorter version, right? There's a shorter version. I think chapter 32. I think Ezekiel 32 has a shorter version of it. Keep going. It's like at the bottom. Like, I don't know how many verses it is. Yeah, it's 60 verses. Remember, you found it. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. That was established. Yeah.
Okay, I was 61.
60.
Okay, got it.
When you read Ezekiel 16, it's a long chapter. It's got like over 60 verses, and the first 59 verses is the Lord cursing us out, and then the last 3 verses is the blessing, right? This is why we're still here. We're in the last 3 verses of the 63 verses. You know what I mean? I'll say it like this: we're approaching that coming into fruition. What we're about to read. Okay, go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 16:60, starting at 60. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee in the days of thy youth, and I will establish upon.
As in the days of our youth. What was the days of our youth? When we was in the wilderness. You know what I mean? The Lord made the covenant with us in the wilderness. Before we entered into the land, He put His name on us. He gave us law, statutes, and commandments. We said, the law was get read to us, and we said, all that Thou sayest, O Lord Yahweh, we will do. And then Moses sprinkled the blood of the covenant on us, and we were officially married to the Lord at that point.
Okay, the marriage.
Right? And in the sense of, hey, the Lord put His name on us, right? Even though we was already, you could say, espoused to the Lord, you know what I mean? Because He, basically, He took us out of the land in order to establish His covenant with us. That's the first covenant, right? We're talking about the first covenant. Now, we're approaching, the second covenant. We're approaching the second covenant being made manifest amongst Israel. Okay? Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 16:60. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee in the days of thy youth, and I will establish unto thee an everlasting covenant.
You see that? Now, because remember, this is after the first covenant was already given,
Right.
right? So it says an everlasting covenant, meaning, and at the time the covenant that we had, you know, with the Lord, well, the northern kingdom had already squandered it, and pretty much the same thing with the southern kingdom too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a covenant ultimately is an agreement, okay, a bond, okay. Our end of the deal or of the bargain was that if we followed the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, we was gonna have the blessings that Deuteronomy 28 verses 1 through 15 talks about, right? But guess what? The only thing that got in the way is this flesh. You see, this flesh prohibits us. So the new covenant is gonna have to be established. Go ahead.
God, this is Isaiah 16 and 61.
Which who ushered in the new covenant? We're just reading about that in Second Corinthians chapter 3. You know what I'm saying? With Yahushua basically, you know, being the one to remove the veil. Okay, now we can behold the Lord with open face. You know what I mean? Because that veil isn't covering our eyes, so to speak, our spiritual eye, and covering our hearts. Now we have to understand when we read the scriptures, it does something to us more so than it does to somebody else.
Right.
It's not in the spirit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
To the point where now we out here telling our people, hey man, you an Israelite, brother. Hey man, you know, hey, you know, like, hey, you were this tribe, you know, you know what I mean? And you can see like little resemblance of people, like their spirit, like, yeah, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, he's an Israelite. Even if he's not a so-called Negro, right? Like, no, these are Israelites too.
They're spirit by the spirit.
You know what I'm saying? You see, they like when I said it, they were like, yeah, I believe
Yeah.
in Dios, I believe. You know, like I don't know if y'all understood what I was saying.
Yeah,
I don't know if
you
y'all
were telling
understood.
me, yeah,
honestly,
someone you were
a
telling
little
me
bit,
they were.
but I was
Yeah.
telling, I was asking them, hey, do y'all believe in the Bible? You know what I mean? Like at first I said, hey, like good evening,
Yeah.
and I gave them a blessing, benedicciones, blessing. That's what that means, benedicciones. I just said, hey, blessings, and then the lady asked, like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, well, we're about to teach the Bible. You know what I mean? We're about to have a lesson. You know, estamos punto tener una lección. We're about to have a lesson. And estamos enseñando la Biblia. We're teaching the Bible.
God.
You know what I mean? And then I asked them, like, hey, like, you know, like, where are y'all from? Like, you know, they said Mexico, which I could have told them that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to confirm it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, entonces eres de uno de las tribas. Tú eres de la triba de Issachar.
Secondary.
You are of the tribe of Issachar. Tú eres de la triba de Issachar. That's what I told him. That's why they were like, oh. And then he said he never heard that before.
No.
And then I was like, ¿has escuchado de las 12 tribus de Israel? And he said, yeah, I've heard of that. Have you ever heard of the 12 tribes of Israel? Right? And he said, yeah, I've heard of it. And I said, well, Issachar is one of those 12 tribes. And so then he was like, oh, wow. And I was like, yeah, so we're about to start preaching, and y'all are Israelites. That's what I told them. And then they had and then they said, okay, well, good night, thank you. They didn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's it. So, you know, that's what's that, Isaiah 61? You know,
Yeah.
the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to teach, you know, preach good tidings to the captives, man. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on in these times, right? Keep going on that.
Yeah. This is Ezekiel 16 and 61. Then thou shalt remember thy ways and be ashamed. When thou shalt receive thy sisters and thine elder and thy younger, and I will give them unto thee for daughters, but not for thy covenant. And I will establish thy covenant with thee and with thou, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. All caps. Heavenly Father.
Right. So the Lord is going to reunite Israel, the northern and the southern kingdom. Okay. The Lord is going to establish, you know, faith in the earth. Okay. Which that's starting with his men, the elect. Okay. That are out here preaching the word in these times throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay. Rightly dividing the word of truth. Okay. Read that last part again.
No. Ezekiel 16 and 63. That thou mayest remember Okay. 62, I'll read that
62,
one. And I will establish my covenant with thee, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
Yep. And even when 61, that thou shalt remember thy ways and be ashamed. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're doing right now. Like we're lamenting. Like we're like, man, we're sorry, Lord. Like basically we're turning at the reproof of the Lord.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's what when you read Acts the 3rd chapter, Peter was like, hey, repent therefore and be converted. Like turn, you know what I mean?
Proverbs 1st and after the 20th on down talks about the same thing.
Yeah. Consider your ways, Haggai the 1st chapter. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing right now. Okay? And we're changing. Be Romans 12 and 1. You know, we quoted what? 3-4 scriptures just right there. You know, be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
That's right.
Right? Go ahead.
Separating yourself from this place.
Yep.
This is Ezekiel 16 and 62. And I will establish my covenant with thee, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. And thou mayest remember and be confounded, and never open thy mouth anymore because of thy shame.
Yeah. So the spirit of pride that Israel has right now, of I'm gonna do as I please, and you know, God got me, I'm just gonna be a demon, and
YOLO spirit.
you know what I mean? All that bullshit, right? Guess what? In the kingdom of heaven, that wicked spirit, that wicked sentiment of, you know, I'm gonna just do what I want, and then, you know, I'm gonna die a nigga. You know what I'm saying? And then and then in heaven, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm gonna get a tattoo of a cross tattooed on my face, just to let people know I believe in God, and I'm gonna go kill, you know, I'm gonna go be a demon, I'm gonna go, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go be a demon in the earth, a menace to society. That's not the way, right? Go ahead.
Start from the top.
Oh, that's the point?
No, I didn't get all of it.
Yeah, read verse 63.
16 verse Ezekiel 16:63, that thou mayest remember and be confounded, and never open thy mouth anymore because of thy shame. And when I am pacified towards thee for all that thou hast done, saith the Lord.
That's the end of it?
That's it.
Good. You see that? That's when but see, we skipped all the judgment
Right.
that's gonna come on Jacob. You see?
Right.
But the thing is, at the end of that judgment, okay, that blessing is gonna come. You see? So that's why we still here. We still here to warn the people. We get Ezekiel 9 and 3. You know what I'm saying? We're here to warn the people, right? What you got? Get that Philippians.
This is Philippians chapter 1 and verse 21. It says, for to me to live is Hamashiach.
Yeah, to live is to push the word. If we're alive, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be pushing the word of the Lord. Go ahead.
It says, and to die is gain.
Yeah, and guess what? If you die doing the work, you won. Mission accomplished. Check. That's the best thing that anybody could do. Because remember, this world, this shit's gonna pass away. All this little shit, like, okay, let's say you got $1 billion in your bank account. That shit gonna burn up. If you however much debt you got, that's gonna go away. Now we ain't saying it's gonna happen tomorrow, but we in them times, man.
Yeah.
When you read about the prophecies, like it's stuff popping up daily. We're in those times. The technology is here, the systems are set up. Really, all the Lord got to do is put the Spirit on Esau to push that button, and it's already ready. It's already set up.
Yeah.
It ain't no more needing to get built up. Really, it's been, the process has been getting held back for, you know, the edification to go out that's been going out. Now, I mean, the time is up, man.
Yeah.
You see? Now it's on the Lord's time, but we saying as prophets, my bad, slide. We saying as prophets, hey, it's about to go down. Remember, look, Jeremiah had 54 chapters, bro. He was saying Jake was gonna go down for years.
Yeah.
Jeremiah didn't just prophesy for no 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
He was prophesying for years before it finally ended up happening. And even when it comes to the overthrow of Jerusalem, that even in itself came in waves. You know what I mean? Even that in itself came in waves. But then that last wave was the worst wave. You see? So the Lord gonna keep us posted up, man, until it's time to go. Until the shift is over. You see? Khan, Abratazah.
Good thing, y'all.
Yeah.
Philippians chapter 1 and verse 22. It says, but if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor, yet what I shall choose I wot not.
Yeah, meaning the fruit of the labor is having the brothers, having the body, seeing the growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, firsthand, because basically, to be honest, like when you're in the spirit world, basically you're on the sidelines. When it comes to like, okay, like you ain't in the game, you a spectator, because you don't have a body to. You don't have a physical body in the physical. You don't have a physical body to operate in the physical. You're just in your spiritual body. So when you're in the spirit world, you on the side, like you watching it on TV, so to speak. You're not in the game. So we're in the game right now, right? We gotta act like we're in the game. See, but Jake so used to sitting on the bench, you know what I'm saying, and basically, not doing anything, being in the stands. Like, nah, bro, like you could be in the game. You qualified to be in the game. There's this one story of this dude, like I guess he took like a random boxing match on a whim, like when he came from the stands, like he was somebody that opted in to fight, like, you know what I'm saying? I can't remember the dude's name, but he ended up having a pretty decent record. He had like over 100 fights. I think it was like in at the late 80s, the early 90s. Like the late 80s or something, he fought. Okay. And but basically, he took a fight like he was just like a random dude in the stands, and I think it was just like some opportunity for him to fight. I don't know how it would happen. Obviously, the rules are different now. Like there was certain reforms that happened in boxing since then. Right. But basically, he was able to fight this quote unquote pro fight, right? Mm-hmm. And he turned it into a whole career. Like he
nice like that.
He was good. He had some losses, but he was fighting bums. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was on a pro record. You know what I'm saying? Mm. So he would get paid however much, this and that, right? Mm-hmm. For that. But he came from the stands. So my point to that is, even if you in the stands, you can still get in the game. You see? At least you there. So we here in the physical, man. You see what I'm saying? Like imagine like all the kids that grew on to play whatever sport, like basketball or football. They grew up going to games and watching, people play or this and that, right? We here in the physical, bro. The opportunity is here. You see? And that's basically the sentiment that's being laid out here in Philippians 1, right? Paul's like, look, I want to go to the spirit world. Yeah. I would like to. Yeah. But for y'all that's here, it's more profitable that somebody is here to teach. You see what I'm saying? Yep. That's why we here. Don't you get it? Those of you that's watching this lesson, that's the reason why we're here, to teach and to build. We're doing something, man. We're not just lollygagging around, flopping around in life like all these low lives here. Okay? Even our own people. They just float through life like, oh man, I'm just here. I don't know why, but I'm just here. No self-esteem, no goals.
Just existing.
Just existing, man. Suffering, really. You're a zombie.
Ultimately.
You're a zombie. That's why when you come across, that's why a lot of simple-minded dudes, they come across, Israelite content. I'll just say it like that because now it's a fad now. Which is going to be a time when it's not. But when they come across Israelite content, they're like, ooh, yeah, that sounds good, right? They don't pay attention to see the doctrine, like they don't pray, they don't fast, they don't, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They just think, yeah, I'm gonna join this group. It's kind of like how I was in Bible study, but it's all black people there, and you know what I mean? Like it's cool, right? That's a simple-minded individual, okay? Versus being somebody like Acts 17 chapter, okay, the Bereans who were going back to look up the things that they were taught. Right. Guess what, man? You are in the information age. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to find the answer to any question in 30 seconds, okay? I mean, it's that easy. Seriously. You know what I mean? You want to know the history of the Mongolian Empire? Guess what? It's 2,500 videos on YouTube explaining that shit. You know? Random, how concrete is made, everything. Bro, now even the understanding of these scriptures. So get it while it's hot, okay? Okay. Was that on that?
It was more. You already kind of said it, but it's still more.
Okay.
Go to how it's better for Paul to be here.
Yeah. Finish it, reading that, and then we'll get that, and we'll close out.
God, this is Philippians chapter 1, and we're at verse 23. It says, "For I am in a strait betwixt two, having a desire to depart and to be with the Mashiach, which is far better."
Yeah, those are the two options, right? The two options is departing and being with the Lord. But what was the other one, which is far better?
God, oh, you want me to read the other one he said?
Well,
But
read it again. I'm
I'm gonna do verse 20. Okay, 23. It says, "For I am in strait betwixt two, having a desire to depart and to be with the Mashiach, which is far better."
Yeah, you see that? Being with Yahushua is far better. When he said depart, he mean being up out this body, man.
Yep.
Because if we could, I mean, let's be honest.
Go on.
If we could hit what's that in the military? Honorable discharge, right? If we can hit an honorable discharge button with the Lord and just eject our spirits, because you can't, you're not supposed to, you're not supposed to off yourself, right? You're not supposed to unalive yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's dishonorable discharge. You don't get no credit for the stuff you did if you do that.
Yeah.
We're talking about if we had an honorable discharge button, we could just hit bop, right? But the Lord said, "Look, no, my grace is sufficient for you. Your ass is gonna be here until I tell you to go. To tell you that it's time to go." Okay.
The Heavenly Father even said it pleased him to bruise Yahushua.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
only begotten, so it's how much more us?
Yeah. Yep. And that's so super heavy because it's like, like really, that shows you how much the Lord loves Israel, man. Because that's the only thing that the Most High made was Yahushua. Yahushua did the rest. That's why he's the only begotten. He was the only one that the Most High begat, right? That the Most High, he begat, like Adam begat Cain and Abel and Seth, right? They came forth from that seed, okay? So, like you said, bro, for the Lord to basically have Yahushua be the sacrifice for us, bro, what the fuck? Like, how we supposed to be mad at the fact that we gotta preach? You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? We would have never been able to return back to that grace that Yahushua has achieved. You know what I'm saying? Yahushua, look, he ain't ever gonna be back in the flesh again, bro. You see? But you know how many niggas don't believe that? So you think the Lord is gonna be like, man, you know what? After all of the thousands of times that you scoffed at this information, yeah, I'm just gonna spare you. Bro, the Lord gonna off these niggas, bro. In droves. And the amount of number doesn't matter to the Lord. There's plenty of space in the spiritual world, man. For all you niggas' spirits to be ejected. Okay? And then, but guess what? After that, then you're gonna be good. Then you're gonna be locked in when you come back and you're in these new bodies. We're gonna be, the home is already gonna be prepared for you. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be one of our sons, man. Maybe one of our sons' sons.
Be in your right
Lord
mind,
willing,
like
we're those men,
Right this out, yo.
Okay, but Vocab Malone, he scoffed at that.
Yeah.
I don't even know, does he even believe in hell? I don't know, he probably would believe, because he can't believe in reincarnation. But let's get what you got.
This is just simple. It's just actually landing back up on what you had said earlier, but it's going to grab what we got with.
Wait, was that it on that? What you
Yeah, I
got?
think there was more on that, wasn't there?
Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad. There's one more verse.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Philippians chapter 1 and verse 24, it says, "Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh is more needful for you."
You see that? More needful for who is the you? Those who he was addressing the letter to, the church. specifically here in Philippi, right? He said, but to abide is more needful for you. That was it.
Yeah, that was
You
it.
see that? That means that this is called what? Charity. Charity. That's what we're doing right now. That's the spiritual sacrifice. When we could really just be niggas, right? And be just doing what we want to do and just keep like, what would make us niggas is the fact that we know the truth and we ain't saying shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
We just, we just living, we're just living with all this wealth of information in our head, which it ain't. It's really just the Lord just pouring it out, and He giving us it, and we're just,
Vessels being used.
we're just vessels being used, but we're just faucets and open up,
It's like the priest said, it's like, having all of this knowledge from the heavens. Scriptures talk about that, taking a candle, put it under the bed, and set it on your leaves, man, the Lord gonna fuck you up. Ultimately, it's literally a life or death situation. But the beautiful thing about it is, having His Spirit sit back down here, man, we were actually, the men that are in this thing laboring, we're actually given a choice to choose to life or death. Most people out here, we're not given a choice. They're just getting death. Coming into this thing, this ministry, you have a choice of having life or death, man. But a lot of Jakes out, even though that hand is being offered for life or death, Jake is choosing death. Ultimately, he was ordained for it. But hey, man, going into fear of the Lord, man. It's the last precept I want to get here, and it just overall, I think it says it all. It's very short, to the point. This is Isaiah 46:8. Remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. When you go into that word man, it's Ash, which means a man of God. All right, it's that same Ash in Isaiah 41. All right, talking about 7 women shall take hold of one man, a man of God. All right, a man of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, not just any man. So that's what the Lord's looking for. The precept the priest brought out. This is the whole duty of man. Going right back into that. When you go into the word duty, that's conjugal marriage practices. All right, so those that are married unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua through the covenant. All right, so right now that's what the Lord wants to see, man. He wants to see His men out here acting as such and doing His job, doing His will, man. That's it.
Yep, that's what we're doing, man, through the Spirit. So, hey, Lord willing, Aparatazah, this was edifying. With that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakodash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.